As we begin 2023, Who's Your Guy with Patrick in Yorkville. Patrick, who's your guy?
Is a name I hopefully butchered on these airways by Chicago meatballs everywhere for the next decade. Adebaware, defensive lineman, Northwestern.
Adebaware. Yeah, I just did it myself. I butchered it for you. You can call him Tommy, as many do. He is listed at 6'1.5", 282. Here are his strengths. I've seen beaver in Canada a million times. They're unmistakable. Freaky athletic testing. The only 280-plus pound player to run a sub-4.5 40 in the history of the combine.
Damn.
Boasts a broad, naturally thick frame with disproportionately long arms. Low to the ground, consistently stays under blocks with his initial burst off the ball. Strikes with pad level and knee bend to effortlessly access his deep power supply.
Deep power supply, man.
What? Uses his active hands and upfield quickness to give blockers the slip or avoid being reached. Urgent cross chop. And
urgent toss chop on 3.
And swim rip moves to free himself. Stacks blocks and peeks into the backfield to track runners. Freaky strength room numbers, which translates to the field. Voted a senior captain. Intrinsically motivated. Credited with rebuilding the culture of the team.
Wow.
Plays through pain. Didn't miss a start the last 3 seasons. Weaknesses.
How much does this game really mean to you, and how much would you just like to go grab a couple sacks of cheeseburgers and sit on a beach and smear that grease all over yourself?
Ooh. Threaten me with a good time. Flashes some tweener traits with some tightness in his lower body. Finds himself flat-footed and engulfed when his initial strike doesn't land. His counter moves lack consistent cohesion and creativity. Struggles to handle extra attention. Can be affected by chip blocks. Had some troubles as an edge setter and needs to be more consistent technician of the run game, regardless of alignment. Missed tackles were all over his tape, often because of his tendency to play too hot, and struggles when attempting to quickly redirect. Undisciplined at times, including a roughing the passer penalty as a senior, and a few others that came close. The summary. Adebaware needs to become more consistent in several areas, but he has explosive power in his body with the long arms and natural leverage to be disruptive. An outside rusher in college, he projects best inside as a 3 technique.
You damn right he does.
In the NFL, his grade 2nd to 3rd round, Northwestern at tackle Tommy Adebaware.
All right.
Next up, Johnny McTwitchy. You're on the score. Hello.
Hello. Love your show.
Love your suit. Who's your guy?
My guy, Tyree Wilson, D-line, Texas Tech.
Tyree Wilson of Texas Tech, 6'5.5", 271 pounds. This is the best starting line of strengths that I've ever seen.
They used to have body fat contests in the clubhouse, and they would make a championship belt made out of like cardboard and tinfoil, and every year he would win the body fat contest. He finally lost, I think, in his last year to Randy Velarde, who of course ended up being in the Mitchell Report on steroids.
Looks like a yoked up Captain America with his muscular, broad-shouldered frame. Owns rare arm length and wingspan to affect the game in ways most edge rushers can't. Body quickness, natural strength, and shock in his hands help him easily convert speed to power. Has added several effective moves to counter blockers, including a cross rip, swipe rip, and arm over. Will use shoulder shimmy to access multiple gaps as a downhill rusher. Surprises ball carriers with his closing acceleration when he has a lane, going from A to B quickly with his strong strides. Quick, physical hands help him strain and dispose of blockers in the run game. Received a triple team treatment at times from blockers because of his game-wrecking ability. Weaknesses.
He's just weird looking. He's just shaped weird.
Comes off the ball upright, tall, and late. Can be washed or moved off his spot by doubles, and his run defense lacks consistency. Guilty of false stepping or overcommitting his balance out in front, giving blockers the chance to snatch pull him. Not a loose pass rusher who will bend the edge versus NFL offensive tackles, pass rush sequencing needs continued coaching. Here's a summary. A 3-year starter at Texas Tech, Wilson played field side edge rusher in defensive coordinator Tim DeRuyter's 3-3-5 base scheme and reduced inside as a 4-4 technique. Or dropped into space.
Field side.
Overall, Wilson plays too upright and needs to become craftier and more strategic in his pass rush, but his length, speed, and raw power are outstanding foundational traits. His ascending tools are ripe for development, and he has Pro Bowl potential. He should be the first Texas Tech defender ever drafted in the top 20 picks. That right there is Tyree Wilson.
Wow, I didn't think it was going to end up being that positive. Okay, cool. Next is Jay in Danville. You know the question. What's your answer?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
My guy is Derek Hall, defensive end, Auburn.
Defensive end Derek Hall of Auburn stands 6'2.5", weighs 254. Here are his strengths.
Kurt Terry, Howie, Michael, and Tony. Look on graphic for the final 2 bullet points.
Is that Dick Stockton?
Yes.
Yes. Look on graphic for the final 2 bullet points. Tell him your name, sent you.
Wasn't it Terry that he had confessed that I'm pretty bad? Wasn't it Dick Stockton and Terry Boers?
That was after the Alex Brown Bob Whitfield game. He was crying.
He's like, I'm that bad, right?
Yeah.
Terry's like, yeah.
He was in tears. It was really kind of
sad. Yeah, because he was a great broadcaster.
All right. Projectable frame with a muscled up build and long arms, strong initial burst to skillfully convert speed to power, proficient with a variety of stab, long arm, and arm over moves, rocks blockers off balance, and forces holding calls with his physical rush style. Holds the point, anchors with aggressiveness as a run defender, scrapes and claws down the line to make chase down stops. Flashes a closing burst when bearing down on ball carriers, making plays near the sideline. Shows veteran awareness, rarely takes himself out of plays, doesn't shut things down, effort leads to production. Voted a team captain, doesn't shy from speaking up and rallying his teammates, plays through bumps and bruises, finished his career playing in 44 straight games. Productive career. Weaknesses. The man chased him, grabbed him by the shirt, and then grabbed his penis in a violent manner.
We do this segment just for us.
I know, really. Most of his pass rush success comes through blockers, not around them. Body stiffness shows when attempting to wrap the corner. Inefficient secondary moves when working off his initial stab or long arm. Anchors the edge but lacks suddenness in his shoulders and hands to quickly shed and make stops in his gap. More penalties in 2022 than expected. 0 career bat downs at the line of scrimmage. In summary, Hall doesn't have fully fleshed out counter maneuvers, release countermeasures, but he is an urgent, hard-charging pass rusher with linear athleticism and power in his hands. He'll be attractive to multiple schemes, projects as a potential NFL starter, similar to the Denver Broncos' Jonathan Cooper. A 2nd to 3rd round grade is what we have on Auburn edge rusher Derek Hall. Which leads us to Sean in Schaumburg. Sean, who's your guy?
I'm going to go with hopefully a person who's never been accosted with an appendage, Mr. Darnell Wright out of Tennessee.
Darnell Wright, 6'5", 333 pounds of chocolate out of Tennessee. Strengths.
I can picture you all in the shower soaping up and singing, and then someone said, hey, we got to get this thing down on vinyl, huh?
A large frame blocker with a thick torso and functional mass. Raw power courses through his body. Competes with a patient yet physical mindset and unleashes controlled violence when he sees the opportunity. Strikes with a stiff, full extension punch to knock rushers off balance, able to knock down the reach of rushers and flashes the grip string to snatch, has enough quickness to shut down the corner, rarely bullied. Oh, I love that. Reworks his balance for quick recoveries after a misstep, keeps his feet and hips on the same page in the run game. His heavy hands allow him to displace defenders, made an impressive jump in performance between his junior and senior season, decreasing his penalties from 10 in 2021 to only 2 in 2022. Weaknesses.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that? You broke
back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
Top heavy and resorts to waist bending at times. Finds his weight too far out in front when he overextends, inviting defenders to toss him. His outside foot drifts, leaving him late to react versus inside moves. His hand positioning lacks discipline, and he needs to stay more compact to answer different kinds of rush moves. Improved movement skills and knee bend, but lacks consistent twitch in his redirect. Has trouble coming to balance on the second level, relies much more on brute strength as a run blocker than leverage. Summary. Overall, Wright will get himself into trouble when he sacrifices technique for his nasty demeanor, but naturally defaults to his raw power and body control to consistently win in both run and passing game. He is a plug-and-play right tackle, and some teams have him on their draft board as a starting guard. Little breaking news, by the way.
Yeah, just give that name one.
Darnell Wright from Tennessee.
Darnell Wright, yep.
Joe Kelly reinstated by the White Sox. He's
awesome.
Ready to go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Share.
Thanks for doing that. The Stars are out today. Frank in Oak Park, who's your guy?
My guy is somebody I hope they trade up in round 2 to get because I think he'll be gone by 53. Isaiah Foskey, defensive end, Notre Dame.
Isaiah Foskey is 6'5", 264. Here are his strengths.
He runs good, and I mean above average.
Projectable frame with workable length and room to add bulk, gets off the ball with plus speed to penetrate the pocket from different angles. Softens the edge with his forward lean and speed to power rush. Go-to move is a long arm or physical stab into the chest of blockers. Improved play strength, treats tight end blocks like you would expect. Able to retrace his steps versus the run. Physical tackles help dislodge the football. Rallies to the ball with nonstop hustle, leading to chase down sacks or tackles 20 yards away from the line of scrimmage. 4 career blocked punts. Voted a team captain. Sense of discipline instilled at him at a young age by his parents. Durable. Played in every game the last 3 seasons. Outstanding backfield production. First player in Notre Dame history with multiple seasons of double-digit sacks. Weaknesses.
Wow! This guy sucks.
His pass rush and countering skills lack complexity. Overly reliant on his long arm moves, must vary his rush plan. Powerful blockers will be able to sit down and anchor against his bull rush, not overly bendy when running the arc. Hands are active in the run game, but his shed skills are inconsistent, leaving him late to shake loose. Average reaction time defending the run, limits quick wins against blockers, gets hung up in the trash, must improve his consistency with play-side contain duties. Had a tough time versus NFL-level tackles on the 2022 Ohio State tape. The summary. Foskey needs to be more consistent versus the run. His pass rush arsenal lacks variety. However, he has promising traits. His play speed and nonstop hustle raise his floor as an NFL player. He projects as an impactful sub-package rusher as a rookie, with the talent to develop into a full-time edge rusher. Here's another projected 2nd to 3rd round grade on Notre Dame pass rusher Isaiah Foskey. And we continue. This is Victor in Logan Square on the score. Who's your guy, Victor?
My guy is Colby Wooden, defensive lineman, Auburn.
Colby Wooden, 6'4", 273 pounds. Strengths.
If anybody's in the present tense more than him, I don't know who that person is.
Brawny, big boned frame with proportionate body thickness.
I'm not fat, I'm big boned.
And arm length. Fluid athlete with the lateral agility to avoid initial contact and attack gaps. uses quick swipe or arm over moves to wrap blockers, uses his hands to dispose of blockers' wrists and work off contact, uses his eyes well to track the ball while breaking down blocks, light on his feet to stay on top of backs releasing into the flat. His current and former coaches all speak highly of his work ethic and character. Weaknesses.
He's killed the original alfalfa.
Average upper body power, undeveloped hands at the point of attack to disengage at will. His pass rush setup and instincts are raw, and he must show he can alter his plan mid-rush. Late to react to blocking pressures at times. Quick first step, but his snap anticipation runs hot and cold. Inconsistent anchoring in the run game when late to dig and sink his hips. Missed tackles were a consistent issue on his 2022 tape, lacking the hip fluidity to finish his some off-balance attempts. The summary: Wooden isn't consistently disruptive when rushing from the outside, but he can set the edge or reduce down where his rush skills are more effective on the interior. He offers positional flexibility as a rotational base end or 3 technique as an NFL rookie capable of ascending to starter. That is Colby Wooden.
Have we done all pass rushers?
That seems to be where Bears fans are at right now.
No, I'm serious.
Well, no, we've done all. No, we did an offensive lineman, right? We did Darnell Wright.
Okay,
so
you're right.
So
that's the one.
That's the
You're
one.
right.
But everyone wants someone to go get the quarterback.
Okay, let's see if that continues. Brian in Batavia, who's your guy?
My guy is Mazi Smith, defensive tackle, Michigan.
Michigan defensive tackle. The phonetic here says Mazi Smith, but it is M-A-Z-I Smith. He stands 6'3", weighs 323. Strengths.
Didn't he save somebody's life at an airport with doing the Heimlich maneuver?
Brings exceptional power and physicality, well-distributed body mass, carries it well, strikes from a low position to stack and anchor the point of attack, including against double teams. Uses his heavy hands to toss interior blockers, plays with outstanding contact balance to sift through congestion and stay off the ground. Displays impressive athletic traits and pairs his movements with his backfield vision to locate and track the football. Uses ankle flexibility to quickly change directions and make tackles in short areas. Sounds like Robert Quinn a little bit there. Finished his career with 0 penalties. Tipped the scale at 345 when he enrolled, changed his diet and conditioning to reshape his body. His teammates call him Gorilla for his freaky feats in the weight room. The stories his teammates tell are legendary. Soft-spoken, but very focused and thoughtful. Everyone listens when he talks. Voted a team captain. Started every game the last 2 seasons. Weaknesses.
I have a pretty crazy sex scene with him. He got implants, and during sex, his breast moved.
It's our friend Kelly King. Undeveloped pass rush skills, moves well, but isn't consistently explosive off the ball for quick wins. Still learning how to get skinny and play through gaps. Ordinary range to chase down plays. Below average backfield production. Missed more sacks than he made. Quickly closing on the quarterback when he had a rush lane, but sliding off just as fast. Guilty of taking plays off for stretches to conserve energy. His character isn't considered a red flag by NFL scouts, but he was arrested on a felony gun charge that was later reduced to a misdemeanor. He was pulled over for going 50 and a 25, and police found a handgun and multiple magazines of ammunition in the car.
Oh.
Gun was legally purchased, but he didn't have his concealed license at the time. Technicality. The summary. Smith might never light up the stat sheet with backfield production, but he will be an above-average NFL run defender. Flashes pass rush potential with his natural leverage, body quickness, and remarkable power. He fits multiple fronts, ideally suited as a shade in the middle of the line, similar in ways to a bigger Brandon Mebane. A first to second round grade on Michigan defensive tackle Mazi Smith. Right? It's Dave in Ottawa on the score. Dave, who's your guy?
My guy is University of Wisconsin defensive lineman Keanu Benton.
Keanu Benton, 6'3.5", 309 pounds. Strengths:
flat middle-aged Jew.
Thick lower body and trunk with a massive wingspan. Carries his 315-pound frame very well with short area quickness to close. Outstanding big man balance and transitions well off blocks. Powerful hands to mash centers into the backfield. Improved feel for leverage, slide protections, and blocking anticipation as a pass rusher. His rush moves have improved, especially his cross chop. Has the lower body flexibility to skim the shoulder of blockers, plays with a strong base to maintain body position and feel when the double teams are coming. Stout versus the run and technically advanced at the point of attack, and his wrestling background shows up on the football field. Urgency and violence are parts of his on-field identity, and effort isn't a question to his game. Offers scheme versatility. Weaknesses:
you're killing me, Smalls.
Taller stature and will wear his pads high, can leave him lost in the wash, must improve and maintain his leverage points, turns his shoulders and needs to stay square, can be late to spot misdirection. His inconsistent pad level hinders his ability to collect himself and break down as a tackler in the backfield. Should be a better off-balance tackle finisher with his length and strength. His rush plan and arsenal need time to mature. Disappeared for stretches versus better competition, parenthetically Ohio State, on 2022 tape. Suffered a minor knee sprain as a senior but played through the injury. Here's the summary. Benton needs to play with consistent leverage and become a more consistent finisher for the NFL game. But his stout power base and above average athleticism at his size are outstanding foundation traits. He has the talent to play all over the defensive line as a pro. That is Wisconsin's Keanu Benton.
Second round pick? Where do they have him?
They got him second round, number 56 overall.
There it is. All right, we go to Berwyn. There is another Dave on the score. Who's your guy?
My guy is Cody Mauch, North Dakota State tackle.
Cody Mauch, 6'5", 302. Strengths:
he's pleasant. He would be great to play golf with.
Superb athletic tools, natural foot quickness and balance to cover up speed rushers as a pass blocker. Patiently works his independent hands to stay in rhythm. Works hard to achieve angles.
He's in a jazz band. Foskey.
Martha Graham, Twyla Tharp. Lean lower body, but his anchor technique and grip strength helps him sit down and slow power rushers. Great job refitting in the run game. Explosive puller with the body control to execute difficult combinations and the range to drive defenders off the screen. Always pounding his feet once engaged. Uses his hands to steer defenders. Plays with an attack mindset. Won't wait on second-level blocks. Has never played a passive snap. Consistently finishes opponents to the ground. Has the dogged work ethic expected of a player who grew up on a farm. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Voted senior captain. What does that mean? Who cares he grew up on a farm?
Because you have to get up early, I guess. He's okay with getting up early and milking the cows?
I don't know. That's lame.
Farmer boys are strong. They're always moving stuff around, tossing hay bales.
There's plenty of weak farmer boys out there. Finished 8th in the voting for the Walter Payton Award. Has experience at both tackle positions. Started every game at left the last two. Weaknesses.
Man, you corny!
Short arm blocker. Struggles against length. Unusual body type. Lacks ideal girth in his lower half. Needs to continue strengthening his core to combat more powerful rushers, occasionally laid off the snap. Overeager punch. Yummy. Leaving himself susceptible to getting swiped. Will get upright and narrow as a drive blocker. Drops his eye level. Leaves his feet too often when looking for the kill shot in the run game. Overzealous as a finisher. Needs to play smarter without losing his edge. Older prospect, recently turned 24. Overall, Mauch doesn't have ideal length or sand in his lower body, but he has outstanding movement skills, fierce handwork, and innate competitiveness to become a starter early in his NFL career. She got a look at tackle, but also projects well inside, reminiscent of Mitch Morse. A second-round grade on North Dakota State's Cody Mauch. Just glad to do something other than a pass rusher. Here is Rob in Blue Island. You're on the score, Rob. Who's your guy?
My guy, Charlie Jones, wide receiver, Deerfield High School.
He is from Deerfield High School. He graduated from Purdue University.
Oh, that's one of the Jones kids. Is that Packy's kid?
I don't know.
It was the whole Joe. There's a million Jones. There's like Packy and Pete and Nan and yeah, I think that might be Packy Jones's kid.
Charlie Jones, 5'11", 175 pounds. Strengths.
First and foremost, he was a really, really awesome man.
Explosive driving off the line with a see ya speed to stretch the field vertically. Sharp route runner and stems defensive backs with one-step quickness. Shows a second gear to climb over coverage when tracking downfield. Strong hands and comfortably secures throws away from his body. Finds void in the defense and sits down. Innately motivated and bet on himself multiple times until he found the right fit at Purdue. Puts his head down and works, and that preparation shows on game day. Extensive return experience in his career, including a 54-yard touchdown, averaged 21.3 yards per kick with 100-yard touchdown run return. One of only 2 FBS receivers in 2022 to rank top 5 in the country in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. Weaknesses.
This guy sucks.
Light, slight frame with questionable play strength. Can get bumped off balance in press and at the top of his routes. Eyes and body lean will give indicators to coverage when working on the outside. Needs to better square his numbers to protect the catch point. Inconsistent finishing skills. Finish him through high traffic areas. Shows tightness through hips and won't consistently shake single tacklers in space. Limited yak skills because of his inability to break tackles. Won't threaten NFL defenses. Medical reports will be important because of past injuries with his hip. Underwent shoulder surgery to repair a tear after the 2018 season. Overall, Jones doesn't have the twitch or play strength to easily uncover outside the numbers, but his crafty speed and ball skills will help him find a role in the NFL. He also has the skills to readily factor into the return game. 4th or 5th round pick on Charlie Jones out of Purdue.
Next up, Blake and Bridgman. You're on the score. Blake, who's your guy?
My guy is someone whom I hope the Bears consider in the middle rounds. Olu Oluwatimi, center, University of Michigan.
Ooh, a center. Cool. Olu Oluwatimi is 6'2.5", 309. Strengths.
He's a brave and a decent man. He's a pioneer.
Outstanding processor and recall. What? His eyes are in the right place. Keeps him from having to spend time searching. Urgent out of his stance with adequate short area quickness to cut off rush lanes. This is not going well. Able to reposition his feet to stay centered and strengthen his anchor. Flashes the clamp strength to hunker down once he latches in pass pro. Doesn't overextend his hands when attempting to re-leverage. Has the makeup necessary to get every ounce of talent out of his body. Michigan coaches say he was one of the best workers in the program. Weaknesses.
He read one book. He's read one book in his entire life, and it's Bo Knows Bo.
Unimpressive build, small hands, plays with lackluster power, doesn't displace defenders at contact, struggles to stay balanced, inconsistent pad level, leverage issues, heavy blockers jar him, lack of lateral quickness will make it tougher for him to consistently execute reach blocks, slow to climb on combos, wasn't a dominant finisher, doesn't have functional playing experience, viewed as a center only, will turn 24 before his first NFL game. Okay. Overall, Oluwatimi doesn't have the position versatility, explosiveness, or point of attack power that NFL teams desire, but he is a cerebral, assignment sound blocker with A+ character, a potential rotational center in the NFL. A 5th to 6th round grade on Sam Mustipher. I mean,
wow.
Oluwatimi.
Wow.
Well, that's what it is, right?
Yes.
Is that exactly what they're describing?
Yes. You're a bad guy, though.
But I'm not wrong. Marty in Oak Park, you're on the score.
Good afternoon, guys. I got a late round lineman for you. Braden Daniels from Utah.
Braden Daniels, Utah, 6'3.5", 294 pounds. Strengths.
He's the best player in the world. That's what everybody says. I don't know that.
Adequate frame, bulk, and length for NFL work. Has the timing out of his stance to jump set quick pass rushers. Displays flexibility and knee bend in his lateral shuffle. Shifts weight well on his inside foot to answer cross-face blockers. Strong, heavy hands to stay connected in the run game. Wasn't flagged for holding in 2022. Weaknesses.
Literally the dumbest person I've ever met.
Inconsistent recovery skills and pass
the
protection.
best part is Funky Town in the back of that.
You're damn right. Because of untrustworthy reaction technique and recognition. Needs to shore up his footwork and consistently bring his feet with him to avoid lunging.
Ooh, I forgot my feet.
Is he a White Sox? Doesn't have ideal blocking range on the edges to consistently win races to the corner. Mediocre anchor strength and can be long-armed onto his heels. His fundamentals have improved each year, but they aren't yet at the NFL level. Needs to drive his feet to create a more steady pass rush, more of a steady push in the run game. Sorry about that, Braden. If his hands aren't precise, they fall off pretty quickly.
Wait, so he's going to forget his feet and his hands fall off? What happened to him? Don't ask. That looks bad.
What is he, Mr. Potato Head?
He forgot his feet and his hands fell off. Ah!
Are
you okay?
Added 13 pounds
Get
between the
cart.
combine and his pro day. Summary. Overall, Daniels will require development to refine his footwork and consistency to match up with NFL rushers, but he has the athletic twitch and versatility to boost an offensive line depth chart in the NFL. His experience in multiple positions is a plus, and he grades as a swing tackle guard with down-the-road starting upside. That, his grade is 4th or 5th round. That is
bad.
Braxton Jones,
Right.
a.k.a.
Yes.